Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. I'm Aisyah Nirra from English Literature, Class 24D1. I will be presenting my final term assignment for critical reading. I'm sorry. So, here are the screenshots of the article that I have analyzed for this presentation. Here I provided the link so you can copy the link and open the article and read it. Let's get straight into the first material, the introduction. The title is K-pop idol Rosé of Blackpink fame grew up in Australia, but she could never have made it big here. The source is The Guardian, the author Wing Kwang. The date that the article was published is on 6 December 2024, Friday. Type of text, opinion article. The main topic. Let's identify the central argument or thesis of the text together, yeah? So in the second paragraph, the author says, but I am also frustrated and disappointed because in Australia, where Rosé grew up before heading to South Korea to become a K-pop idol, there has been relatively little coverage of her achievements. So the central argument is Australia's entertainment industry lacks support and visibility for Asian Australian artists like Rosé. The evidence. Let's point out 2 to 3 supporting ideas and evaluate how effectively they support the main claim. So here with me, I have 2 supporting ideas. The first one is from the 7th paragraph. The demographics of musicians also fail to reflect Australia's cultural diversity. The 2021 census shows 20% of the Australian population speaks a language other than English at home, yet only 13% of musicians do so. So the sentence supports the main claim by providing data evidence to highlight the underrepresentation of culturally diverse communities in the Australian music industry. And the second supporting ideas came from the 9th paragraph. Recent research by the University of Technology, Sydney, found Australians are listening to more music from the US and UK, with a significant decline in Australian artists and artists from non-English speaking countries. This sentence supports the main claim by showing that the Australian music audience and industry favor Western or English-speaking artists, making it even harder for a diverse or Asian Australian artist like Rosé to gain success. The reasoning. Are the arguments valid and coherent? Yes, I do think the arguments are valid and coherent. The reasoning is consistent with real-life patterns and examples. It avoids exaggeration and stays grounded in observable facts, and the article doesn't jump around or introduce unrelated issues. Now, I have noticed in the article, the author did mention a few artists like Honey Palm from New Jeans and Felix and Bangchan from Stray Kids, but they are also Australian artists, Australians who have a career in the music industry in South Korea. So it's still very much related. And yeah, every point is tied back to the central argument about limited opportunity and representation. The other says, Rosé, who was born in New Zealand and later moved to Melbourne with her family at age 8, is one of the many Australia-raised artists of Asian heritage who are active overseas and have secured the kind of success that they could barely have dreamed of if they had stayed at home. Yeah, the other says that Rosé had to leave Australia to succeed because the Australian entertainment industry doesn't really support Asian Australian artists. Any fallacies? So in the 5th paragraph, the author says Malaysian Australian Kimberly Chen wowed the world with her creative single Fragile, a collaboration with Malaysian rapper and activist Nam Wee, which satirizes China's nationalism. So the wording of the sentence is a little confusing because people might confuse this Nam Wee person for mocking Chinese people, since it says which satirizes Chinese nationalism. So it sounds like the writer assumes that the intent of the song Fragile is mocking Chinese nationality, I'm afraid. without giving any source or quote from the artist himself. Context. Who wrote it? Wang Kwang, a journalist, audio producer, and a certified translator in Sydney. For what audience? The target audience is probably the readers of The Guardian, especially Australians and those who are interested in topics related to K-pop or music. What is the purpose? To raise awareness about the lack of diversity in Australia's entertainment industry. The judgment. Is the argument persuasive? Why or why not? Support with reasons. Yes, the argument is persuasive. The author uses Rose's real-life success story to anchor the argument. Since she is a well-known globally successful artist who grew up in Australia but found fame in South Korea. As if the author is saying that Asian Australians often have to leave the country to succeed. So more Australians would support Australian artists who are mixed or do not use English language in their songs. The conclusion. What have this analysis taught me, especially in the context of critical reading? So after analyzing this article, I have realized that it is much easier to understand the author's perspective since she provides data and examples and the reasoning behind her claims too. This analysis has taught me that critical reading goes beyond than just understanding what the text says. It involves identifying the writer's main argument and evaluating the evidence. I also learned to pay attention to subtle biases or assumptions that might influence how a message is delivered, fallacies. Overall, it has helped me to become a more thoughtful and analytical reader, especially when engaging with opinion-based writing. That's all from my presentation. I hope that this presentation of mine is educational and purposeful for those who are watching. And let me end this presentation by saying I apologize for any mistakes I have made throughout the presentation. Thank you so much for your attention and have a nice day.